Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
Coming up this week, we have got loads of new bikes from the likes of Canyon, Wilier, Pinarello, Trek, and we dissect some of the pretty cool tech we spotted over in Unbound.
Yeah, we do. And we'll be discussing if less regulation in gravel racing is making gravel tech a whole load more interesting. The reason Ollie and Alex aren't sitting in this very seat doing the show with you is because they're currently on holiday. Alex is exploring the wonderful city of Seville, and Ollie is... What's Ollie doing?
He's racing up the Stelvio.
He is indeed, yeah. Or the Stelvio Santini, isn't it? And I did see from his Instagram that he pulled off a 12th place, and none other than Andrew Feather went and won.
Won it. So I think I know which holiday I'd rather be on.
Which one?
I'd rather be going for the Stelvio.
I'd rather be going round Seville.
I'd probably come last.
Alex is chilling with a glass of wine with his missus.
Well, I'd be chilling at the back of the Stelvio.
And you're going to be... Okay, fair enough. Anyway, let us know in the comment section below which holiday you would rather be on. I think it's about time we got a message from the two who are currently got their feet up.
Hey everyone, sorry I can't be with you on the tech show this week, but I've left you in the capable hands of Hank. So he'll be looking after you, because I'm on holiday. I've come to the Italian Alps and I'm staying in Bormio, right in the centre in a fantastic Airbnb, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. There's Bormio 2000 behind me, the sun's out, it's amazing. There's Gavia Pass over there, Stelvio's over there, and we did a Gran Fondo while we were here. So Feather's here with me as well, and we did this Gran Fondo. Feather only went and won it. Of course he did. And he did 45 minutes up the Mortirolo Pass, which is like as fast as like Nibali, and of course he did. I got dropped, but I still did all right. I came 12th overall. She's pleased with that. Good for me. I'm going to have some food now. Oh, by the way, when Feather won that Gran Fondo, he got a big prize, a hamper, and he won some jam. There we go. Great. Right, I'm going to go now. Love you. Bye.
Right, now on to the talking point, and we're talking about Unbound.
Yep, probably the best gravel event, I think. The biggest in the world has just passed this weekend. There's over 5,000 participants. I read around over 28 different nationalities were taking part. It truly is one of the best races I've ever done. It's absolutely epic. It is just premium gravel. It's such a cool thing to do. And I really enjoyed following the coverage, actually, over the weekend and taking a little eye on some of the tech that was going on over there.
I don't believe any of that.
Why not?
Well, I believe it's 100% one of the best gravel races out there, but you can't have that good memories of it. The last time I saw a bit of the Unbound of last year's, you were stuck under a hedge. Water! Here's the clip.
A bit scared of continuing like this, and we've got no water.
Someone on my Instagram commented and said I was a Lachlan Morton.
Well, I think that's quite accurate.
I think I'm taking that as a compliment.
Oh, well, I would do. Lachlan Morton went on and won the whole bloody race.
Yeah, but I'm a Lachlan Morton. That's a compliment, I think.
Yeah, but even a 50% Lachlan Morton, you're still pretty good, right?
Well, I think I'm not that. I think I'm like 1% or 0.5%.
Right, moving on. We're talking about the tech.
We are.
Of the gravel, because the whole gravel series is taken over by storm, and a lot of the roadies have come in to the gravel scene and taken a lot of what they've learned in aerodynamics and everything else and brought it to the gravel scene.
Yeah, but it's not just that as well, because it's becoming so competitive too that now it really is a big deal if you win this race. It is huge. It is just as big as winning maybe a big one-day race on the road. It's kind of up there in the cycling season now, and it's everyone's attention and turns to it. So it's no wonder that tech is becoming such an important feature of the race, and you're seeing a lot of innovation, a lot of riders pushing the limits of what they can use on their bikes. And because the race isn't regulated, they are kind of free to do what they want, which I think is really cool. So we're going to talk through some of the bits we spotted now and just kind of dissect them a little bit and see what we think.
Starting off with this. The first bit of tech I spotted was on the winner of the event, on Lachlan Morton, and the helmet he was using, because I wasn't expecting to see it in the gravel scene. He was wearing the Procent Air lid from POC, and it's more of a time trial helmet than a gravel helmet in my eyes. But it's wild to see that on
Well,
a
so
9-hour
yes,
bike race.
so this is a time trial lid, but it's been designed with increased ventilation, so to aid with cooling, but still.
And EF use it on the road.
They do so they use it on the road, but from all the times I've used more aero-orientated helmets, they are hot. They're very hot, even with the ventilation built in. And I haven't tried this one, so I can't comment on it. But that is hardcore, in my opinion, to be using that on a 9-hour gravel race when temperatures get close to 40 degrees Celsius.
It is wild, but do you reckon the gains of the aerodynamics from an aero lid?
Must be, because he won the race, so it's obviously paid off for him, and he's hardcore enough to be able to get through the race with one. So.
And if anyone who knows and looks into the CDA and the aerodynamics, a lid does make a huge amount of difference.
Yeah, and you're in the wind for a long time at this race. But that's not too wild. I think that is the sort of tale which we see across many different disciplines in cycling. But this is pretty out there.
Yeah, check this out. This is Chase Wark's bike. This allows Segler, and as actually part of an early breakaway that got a healthy gap on the peloton. And if anyone's going to talk about straying from the spirit of gravel, well, I think this is going to do just that, because it is a bit out there.
But you know what? This, for me, is a sort of setup which makes things so interesting. It makes the tech, it gives it something different than we're used to seeing over on the road. I just love the homemade vibes to it. These races started as kind of a group of mates heading out on kind of put together bikes, cyclocross bikes, and seeing if they could do the course in the fastest time possible. And I think this is in keeping with that vibe, for me. But let's talk you through some of the details.
Yeah, before we go into the details though, I'm not going to lie. I'm a bit of a traditionalist, and I have to say I like having the traditional, like, baggy t-shirts, shorts.
I just think
that's anyway. We're going to look into the detail because this bike is quite crazy.
You can still do that. You can still wear your baggy shorts and baggy t-shirt. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I just think it's cool that the riders are seeing what they can do to get through this course in the fastest time possible.
Yeah.
So Chase has gone for pretty much a disc wheel on his bike. So he's used a Head Jet 180 fairing,
which is actually from a triathlon setup.
Yeah, it's kind of the sort of stuff you'd probably see in an Ironman. You'd never see this in a road race. But it's not just the wheel. So he's also got this kind of custom frame bag, hydration bag on the frame in the kind of triangle and also on the front. And this is a way of increasing his hydration options, but also it's to improve the aerodynamics of the bike, and it extends all the way back to the rear wheel. It's really close when you look at that there. Plus, he went with 33 centimetre wide bars. So narrow. I mean, fair play for getting through some of those sectors on those bars.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is, to be honest, it is genuinely wild. But and I like how he's taken some of the inspiration from triathlon and bought it to make it slightly, make a gravel bike even more aerodynamic. The thing I was going to ask though was what happens in crosswinds, because that's what everyone would think, isn't it?
So he actually had holes built into the pack, so that the crosswinds wouldn't have as much of an impact on the setup. But still, I think you're going to feel a bit of crosswinds there.
You must do, surely.
But for the advantage down the line, headwinds, you have some big long rows and straight rows into headwinds. It's going to make a difference. But I think this is cool. Where is this going to go? And he's thought about it. He's come to the event. He's got this bike set up. He's in the early breakaway, smashing it.
Hats off
Fair play.
I've got to say. Anyway, what do you guys think of this Lauf Segler? Would you ride it? And do you think this is kind of adapting the spirit of gravel? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. But we've also got a little bit more tech for you, haven't we?
Yeah, we do. So, Valtteri Bottas, F1 driver.
Extraordinaire.
F1 driver extraordinaire, the guy's a legend, but he's not exactly, your top pro in the world of cycling. But I feel it's cool that Valtteri is getting some of the tech before top pros, and he's being the one who's kind of like
I did actually, because he was actually riding the new SRAM that's unreleased.
New SRAM. Well, we don't know much about it, but he had it on it. It was pretty open. I think it's cool how we have different characters in these races, and we're able to see some of the tech kind of.
He is taking a bit of the spirit of gravel though, because he's got a blonde mullet, he's got a moustache, he's got the new SRAM. I mean, the guy is taking gravel to another level. And I do like, in an interview I saw him, and he was basically like, I see you've got the new SRAM on your bike, and he's like, yeah, I can't talk about it. So he's done a lot of media training with F1, so he didn't give away absolutely anything about the new SRAM.
But it's there, it's in the open, Anyway, moving on, hydration options are a big talking point. And this is another area of gravel compared to road, which is different, and it's another kind of dimension that you can go into. And at this race in particular, there was a whole load of different hydration options being put out there.
Now, obviously, hydration's a big thing, and we know that because of your experience. Now, how on earth did you get so dehydrated?
So this is another aspect of these races which I think is really cool, because you really have to get your strategy right in terms of fueling and hydration if you're going to kind of finish and be competitive. So you've only got a few spots where you can rehydrate. The race starts so early in the morning, it's actually quite cool. But then once you get to the midday sort of time, the heat just goes boom, and you are just like cooked. So what I did was I just went fueling. I stopped at the checkpoint, it was still pretty cool. I made the error of refilling all my bottles with pure energy. So I had really high carb energy in those bottles. And then when the heat came, I wanted to hydrate. I just literally couldn't pallet it. So I was in trouble. And then you have to just get to the next checkpoint, which is miles away. So I was just running on such little water. I had a bit of water in my pack, but the bottles were just useless. They were just too thick. They would have dehydrated me more if they were that thick.
So it's absolutely essential that you get your hydration right.
It's imperative, and that's why we see quite a lot of tech coming in this year's race in terms of hydration to kind of aid riders, but also improve the aerodynamics too.
And I think that's the key, isn't it? It's the aerodynamics, so you're not wearing a rucksack with water in, essentially.
Yeah, so we saw a number of brands kind of releasing hydration aero suits, which I think is pretty cool. Castelli had this jersey, which allows for a pocket with the bladder going in the back. So it's like just slips in the back, which I think that's quite a good solution, because you almost make it cool and it'd be like an ice vest as well.
Rule 28 as well?
Yeah, so they supported Dylan Johnson, Danny Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
They kind of pulled out this like aero hydration suit. So it's a full suit where you could put the hydration bladder in.
And then interestingly, Rapha waited till the event to launch their Blaerosuit, which is a merge between a bladder, an aero suit,
and a hydration
pack.
Yeah, it was quite cool. And it took the win. Lachlan took the win with it. And it also had extra pockets on the arms for storage for all the gels and food that you need for the whole event.
Mad.
But this is another reason why I think it's cool, because you have the ability to kind of have these sort of like different products coming out, which will help you, this different sort of tech, which helps you for these events and for like riding super long distances on your bike, which we just don't really see in other aspects of the sport.
And I like as well how riders are helping with the innovation of the new tech. Like Keegan Swinson, winner of last year's event and gravel, rider extraordinaire, as I would say, kind of put all his experience into building that Blaerosuit as well. And I reckon we're going to see more riders using that in gravel races, gravel worlds, etc.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like such a fresh discipline, and we're seeing it kind of evolve in front of our eyes. So it's cool. I think it's really cool to see where it goes next. And I don't think there should be regulation. I think it should stay as it is. Let's see where it goes and have fun watching it all unfold.
Yeah, but the question is, what do you think? Let us know in the comment section below. Are you a lover of the tech innovation in the gravel scene, or do you want to see more regulation? Do you want to see more red tape? Let us know in that comment section below. It's now time for Hot Tech, the moment of the show where we go through and find out if there's any hot tech that's been spotted in the world.
There's been a lot.
Yeah, there has been a lot, because the Dauphiné has kicked off the warm-up to the Tour de France. And there's been a whole host of new bikes spotted at that very race. And I'm going to kick off with the first one, ridden by Mads Pedersen, and it's the Trek Madone / Emonda, right?
We're not quite sure, because like first glimpses of this bike, and their first glimpses, because with the Tour de France approach, this is the big stage for bikes to be released, but riders need to test them before they get there, so they're kind of under wraps until then, but we get this little glimpse of them. So this new Trek has got Emonda and Madone on the top tube, both written. So it's got everyone kind of wondering, is this going to be like a new climbing bike, a new aero bike, or is this going to be like a new kind of more all-round bike? And the age of the aero climbing two separate bikes, is that ending?
Yeah, the jury's kind of out on that one, isn't it?
It is. We'll wait and see, but I mean, it's one stage first and foremost.
Yeah, so they're not hiding that well.
Yeah, it's not hiding well in plain sight. No. It's off to a good start. But
aero bike, Canyon have also hit out with a new bike, haven't they?
Yeah, so just to counter that argument of whether, the climbing and lightweight bike or the aero bike is ending, Canyon are committing to a new aero bike. There's a new aero been spotted. So obviously they are looking to commit to providing their riders on their teams they support with an aero option and a really super light climbing option.
Yeah, God. And then Lenny Martinez has been spotted with a new bike as well.
Yeah, look at this. Yep, so Lenny Martinez was spotted aboard this wheelie, winning the Mercantour Alps Classic Maritime. I think I said that race right. It's a bit of a mouthful. I did. Wait, hold on. The Mercantour Classic Alps Maritime. I used to live in the area.
Well, you did better than I could do.
But from what we can tell from the photo, we don't know too much about this, but it looks like an absolutely banging bike for one. I think this is kind of like a climbing orientated bike, maybe an all-round option. Really hard to tell from the photos. It's taken a win, so it's obviously it's working well. Quite wide on the fork area, so but another bike.
Another exciting bike, and it doesn't stop there because Pinarello have come out with a new Dogma as well. Now this appears to be a slightly larger head tube and also a slightly increased bottom bracket, but I don't know for sure. What it does appear though is that it looks like Pinarello are sticking to their trend of trying to make the best all-round bike, light but also aerodynamic bike, and we're going to keep an eye on that one because yeah, like I say, we don't know a huge amount and we're looking forward to seeing more detail on that very bike, aren't we?
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to kind of build and improve on the model that exists already, but it'd be cool to see what they've come out with. Loads of new bikes have been spotted this week. I mean, it is all kicking off ahead of the Tour de France. I think the coolest thing though about all this is that again, Valtteri Bottas was the one that was spotted aboard the new Canyon first, pulling hot laps.
Van der Poel.
Before Van der Poel, pulling hot laps around Monaco on the new Canyon. So fair play. What a legend. What a legend. He's a cool dude, that man.
He is.
I think he needs to give us a go in his F1 car, so that probably won't last long.
Mate, you wouldn't fit in it.
I wouldn't fit. Do you reckon I wouldn't fit in
Yeah,
it?
because all F1 drivers are small, mate. You've got to be small, agile, light. You're big, tall, and not light.
Literally the opposite. Okay, right. Anyway, moving on. That was some banging new bikes, though, from the world of road cycling.
Now, it's not just new bikes. We've also spotted a new wheel set too. Now, Remco Evenepoel has been seen on a new Roval Rapide wheel set. And as we've seen from Roval, they've normally steered away from carbon spokes. But this time, it looks like they've been added and a revamped hub too.
Yeah, we think a revamped hub, but I think like you know the current Roval Rapid CLX2 wheel set that comes in at around 1,520 grams. So if they are going for the carbon spoked option, it'll be interesting to see how much lighter these wheels get. Should be a lot lighter, which I think in the battle of the gram, Evenepoel is going to appreciate it. But they were spotted aboard an absolutely cracking SL8 as well. Cracking paint job on this, silver and black. I like that a lot.
It does look bloody cool, doesn't it? Ducati have released a new bike. Now this one is building on their Futa E road bike, but it's more gravel orientated with some extra bits to it too.
Yeah, it's a nice looking bike, I think, because normally when we see kind of vehicle manufacturers, car manufacturers, motorbike manufacturers make a bicycle, they're not the best.
I don't know. McLaren have come out with a really cool looking bike.
McLaren
Lotus have also come out with a really cool looking bike.
Fair enough. There have been a few disasters, though, if I must admit, in my personal opinion. But this one, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it does look cool. Right,
So it comes with an FSA motor, 42 newton meters of assistance to the rider. But what I think is really cool about it is it is shipped with bike packing bags fitted as standard, which is
there you go. So you can have all your hydration packs on board your bike, which is probably what you're going to need for the next gravel ride.
That's cool. It's kind of made for people who still want to get out there and explore. So yeah, and stay hydrated
with a bit of power. You get done with both. So that's it for Hot Tech. We've given you an absolute barrage of new bikes, wheel sets, and e-bikes. And I've got to say, I'm interested to see all these new bikes come into fruition and hear more details about every single one of them. But it's time now for comments
of the week.
There you go. Let's get our laptops in. Right, kicking off under the GCN Tech show. We've got one in from Wayne Clement that we picked out. Comfort is absolutely key. I think casual cyclists are put off by drop bars. Touring bikes with drops are probably perfect for most people. I think area savings drops have over flat riser bars are very underestimated by even experienced cyclists. You save so much wind resistance and gain a lot of speed for the same effort. Now, over on the GCN Tech show last week was Manon and Alex talking about the comfort between speed.
Speed or comfort.
Speed or comfort. Yeah.
I'm a comfort person. I think comfort equals speed.
I'm a need for speed, man. Me.
Speed.
I'm more comfortable at speed.
Speed doesn't last for long when you're uncomfortable.
And we got another comment saying, from Brandon saying, speed is comfort, getting drops is uncomfortable.
That's true. I've got no
Have
comeback.
you got to go back for that? Cheers,
back.
Brandon, for helping me out. Right, what else have we got, bub?
So this one was under Visma Lisa Brike's Mechanics Truck Tour, which is always a bit of a treasure trove. Crowbar Cycles got in touch. 5 mechanics for 8 riders in the Giro. Impressive. It's a lot of work though. Imagine 8 bikes to clean, to service,
Dude, it's
to change
still a lot of
chainrings,
mechanics.
change
You can't
cassettes,
get away from that.
change punctures. You need it. Because you get into your hotel, 8 o'clock is early. Then you've got to work the whole night. They've got to have dinner. And get up next morning, do the whole day again. So it's a lot.
Yeah, but you got 5 mechanics. There's nearly a mechanic for each bike.
And even with that, when I did the Giro, there was sometimes mechanics going to bed at like 2 or 3 a.m. Easy.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Mental.
Yeah, a lot of work.
We've got one in from Jarek. The main, this is actually a question. The main and spare bikes must be set up identically. So what tools and techniques are used to move riders' measurements from bike to bike? There is some sort of jig, isn't there?
Yep, jig. Pretty much. There's a few options out there, but I only really trust the jig. You just can't get accurate with a tape measure.
Really?
No, so it was always the jig straight in. I was someone who was just so sensitive as well that I'd notice if I went from a new saddle to an old saddle. Because it was
too.
like the difference in.
But when you're on a bike every day, between 4 and 7 hours a day, you're going to notice every tiny little detail.
Yeah.
But what I have noticed with pros is they have like 3 measurements in their head that they'll know, and it's like the classic, saddle height, reach.
Yeah. So what would normally happen is every rider will have their measurements in a big spreadsheet. Mechanics will know it. They have the jig, and then that is just like imprinted into all the bikes they use. So it's pretty much identical when they change bikes. Yeah.
I hope that answers your question, Jarek. Now, under size brand new Colnago gravel race bike, universal derailleur hanger. It's very smart from Andrea.
He had a banging bike for this, didn't he?
Yeah, he really did.
Bike, yeah.
And I did think that universal hanger was pretty cool, not gonna lie.
There you go. Picked that one out, Hank.
Mate,
Got a sharp eye.
I have got a sharp.
Ow!
Right, that's it for those comments. Keep them coming. Get involved over the videos in the next week. And I'm sure, hopefully, if your comment's going to be good enough, you'll be shouted out in next week's show. And now it's time
For the bike fault.
for the bike bowl! For this section of the show, we thought we'd get another member of Staff's opinion. We've actually got George in who's a bit of work experience.
Yeah.
So George, come and take your seat.
Good man, George. He is the judge in all of this because
Yeah, he's going to be the third opinion. So if we
opinion.
don't, vote,
we don't agree. It goes to George.
goes to George, and George gets to ring the bell. So we've got one in from
Ex Ardus.
Exardus. Carver Gravel, 110th Street, Stargard Castle, Germany's northernmost hill castle. During our 80-kilometre rebound ride,
Ah, nice one, giving it a go. Rebound was on.
which was quite demanding for me, he did say, as it was my first ride above 50k, much more hilly than thought.
That's right, George.
Had a puncture at 20 kilometres. Let's just check out the bike.
I'm
What do
liking
you think
this.
of that?
I'm liking it.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah, it's got mud guards. It's got loads. It's got mounting options on the down tube as well for some
aero
extra
bars as well.
storage. Aero
See,
bars
the
too.
good thing I've got to say about gravel bikes is also just there's so many areas to put stuff.
That's it.
Coming from a road background.
Practicality. So I'm going to give this a. I think it's going super nice.
Yeah, I'll give it super nice. George, what are you
I'd
saying?
give it a super nice.
Super nice. Ring the bell.
That's George's job.
Oh, sorry, George.
Yeah, you have to read.
Sorry, George.
Yeah!
There we go.
Right,
well
one
done,
super nice
Exardus. Moving on to Jim White submitted this, my classic rim brake Cannondale Super 6 Evo. Oh my goodness, look at that.
What were you saying, George?
I
What
like
a
the
gem.
colour. The colour's lovely. It all corresponds. And
The
then
problem
the
is-
you got with your with your gears, and then with the writing. I just like that.
The problem is, the cranks aren't aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
aren't
cranks
aligned.
do need to be swapped. But it is Biggie Smalls, which I think's fair. And I've got to say, I love a Super 6 Evo.
Yeah, I think we'll get in trouble if we did that at Super Nice with the cranks out though. We'll have Ollie and Alex just absolutely on our back.
What are you saying, George?
Should we
I'd say it's not super nice. So
Okay.
It's just regular nice.
All right, so regular nice.
We've been overruled.
From
We've been
Jim
overruled.
White. Right, we've got a Scott Speedster sent in by
Raoul Pin.
This is my
Pineda.
first bike, the Scott Speedster, with a Shimano 105 lemon speed at the end of my first 150 kilometre near Copenhagen. I've upgraded it with Elite Marvel 50D wheels, a Pinarello P0 for my first Sportive. Gotta say, brilliant new bike.
I like-
for a first bike.
I
Absolutely
really
perfect.
like this. I really like this alloy frame set. It's just the lines on it are good. It looks sleek. Nice bit of deep wheels in there.
I've got also. You have to, like, valves. Valves aligned at the bottom.
It's set up perfectly in terms of I wasn't even looking. It's all set up perfectly.
In terms of bike vault speculation, I think there's specification. Sorry, is like, it's all pretty much there. You've got matching bottles. What are you saying?
I like the matching bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got them the same, can't go wrong.
See, I don't match my bottles. I don't think.
I know, but your bike wouldn't get super nice.
I don't know
George,
what the big
I think
deal
you've
is
got to ring that bell.
Super nice.
Ring that bell!
Yeah, George.
Oh, what are you thinking about this?
Now this is cool. We're going to get a lot of super nices here. This is from Leon Newton. His fixed wheel endurance bike. I love the bike. I'm not sure I'm on board with the philosophy, but anyway, let's get into it. This is his new one of the last Mercians. I was told that it was a rather odd build. Apparently, not a lot of people want horizontal dropouts for a fixed wheel drivetrain who want endurance geometry, compliant tubing. This has many mounts for cages, mudguards, and a pannier rack. People are odd. I can't think of many more normal things than a 600-kilometre ride on a fixie.
That's brutal.
That is brutal, but I think we need to give it a go, really, that sort of distance on a fixie.
Would you ride a fixie of 600 kilometres?
It's a bit of that distance is very testing, so I prefer to have you be able to change it rather than being too fixed.
Oh, I know. I mean, that's a challenge in itself. What we're saying for the bike,
Either way.
I like how we've got some matching. You've always got to match your saddle and your bar tape, even though I don't because I can't find a white saddle at the moment to go with my new Pinarello. But soon to have white saddle, white bar tape. On this leather saddle, leather bar tape, going with the chain stays, like
Camel tyres.
It's
looking good.
It's looking pretty good.
This might mount for the light as well. I like how the light's kind of off the handlebars for some reason.
I mean, what are we saying here, team?
The cranks aren't aligned again. The cranks aren't aligned again.
I personally, I'm not
down.
going to give it a super nice today. I'm sorry.
I feel like you can get away with that if it's not a fixed wheel. But when you've got a fixed wheel, I think the cranks need to be aligned. I think it's just too much of a drops ball here.
Yeah.
Sorry, Leon, but it's a cracking bike.
The colours, everything. The colours really do it for me, but it's not super nice.
It's not super nice.
George has
Regular
spoken.
nice!
There
Sorry.
we go. There we go. Right, I think
Last
this is our
one.
last bike. Yep.
And it's coming from Bradley. Thank you
Bradley
for sending in
Highland.
the bike. We've got a 2016 S-Works tarmac built up with Rotair Q-rings. God, I haven't used them for a while. FSA SKK carbon crankset and a 55mm giant SLR Aero wheel set. Includes a custom saddle bag from a local builder from Wise, Idaho.
Rim brakes as well. Love it.
Doggy bags.
I think that's super nice. I'm just rocking it through straight away. Valves are aligned, cranks are aligned.
Yeah, that's...
Biggie Smalls.
I'd say that's super nice. What are you saying? Also, great background.
Great background.
Great colours.
Slightly shadowed on the rear wheel. Slightly shadowed.
Yeah, but you can't...
You can't. That's picking hairs. It's
That's
picking
picking hairs.
Super nice.
You know what time it is? Super nice.
Right, big round of applause for George. Thank you for joining us,
George.
mate.
Thank you, George.
Appreciate it.
Right, that was Bike Vault. Some good ones there.
I've got to say, I love Bike Vault. Getting George in gives us another opinion.
Another
it.
opinion. I feel we needed a bit more of an opinion with us two together in the studio.
Yeah. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been our first GCN Tech show in a long time. Let us know in the comment section below what you thought of my co-host, and I hope to see you next week. I just don't know if Ollie and Alex may be back, and so we'll be kicked out.
Well, I'm a bit worried about your week, though, because you've got a big one planned. What are you up to?
Well, I have got a big week. I'm actually copying Wout van Aert's training. Wout van Aert's training before the Tour de France.
You just love to pay. You love the pain and the suffering.
pain.
You
Yeah.
love the suffering. The fair play to you.
And that-
I'm not sure you'll complete this one because the man's an absolute animal. But we'll see. You're an animal too.
Well, that'll be
Fair
coming
to you.
out in next week,
You're stubborn
next
as a mule.
weekend. So,
Good
yeah,
luck.
keep an eye on GCN, keep an eye on GCN Tech, keep commenting, and thank you so much for your support. And we look forward to seeing you in the next video.
See you soon.